Mother.
The combat medic had been waiting for this message for a year and a half, ever since she was taken prisoner, and her children at that time, 9-year-old daughter Varvara and 5-year-old son Rinat, were illegally taken to Russia.
Mom, don't cry. Mom, don't cry.
Since the beginning of Russia's full-scale war against Ukraine, according to the National Information Bureau, 380 Ukrainian children have been returned home, while, according to various sources, from 19,000 to 700,000 children were illegally taken out of Ukraine. Various organizations are engaged in their search, not only in Russia, but also in Belarus.
There was a lot of open data, there were videos of children being taken to Romashka camp, but our work did not end with one Romashka. Let's say you find news in a random group on Russian Vkontakte social network with the following content. Now 90 children from the Donetsk People's Republic orphanage have come to our orphanage. We talked to them, they are so cool, hopefully they will be adopted soon. Based on such a post, we understand the time of arrival, the number of children, their location, and perhaps even find photos from the official website of Kidnapping Project.
12-year-old Alexander and his mother were captured by the Russians in March 2022. They were taken from Mariupol to a filtration camp and separated there. With great difficulty, the child was returned to Ukraine. The fate of his mother is still unknown.
The Russians said that my mother doesn't need me, that I will be given to a foster family in Russia. Imagine, they didn't even let us say goodbye to mom.
Deportation is one of the heaviest war crimes, which is equated to genocide. And the International Criminal Court in The Hague issued an arrest warrant for Putin and Presidential Commissioner for Children's Rights Maria Lvova-Belova, precisely on suspicion of the forcible deportation of children from the occupied territories of Ukraine to Russia. But for the Kremlin, this is part of a strategy to instill in children the ideology of the Russian world, the deputy chairman of the Majlis of the Crimean Tatar people believes.
The main goal is the same, to turn children into a part of the Russian world. Putin and his henchmen imagine themselves to be the arbiters of destinies. Children will be turned into creatures similar to themselves, who hate everything human, especially brought up on the cult of war, national and religious hatred and intolerance. Ilmi Umerov, deputy chairman of the Majlis of the Crimean Tatar people, in an interview with Crimea Realities.
Russians deliberately call the deportation of children evacuation. Allegedly, they are saving them from bombing and shelling, which are arranged by the Russian military themselves. There were many families who wanted to adopt or take under guardianship children of war. Since the Russian Federation, the adoption of children, according to the director of the Institute for Strategic Studies and Security, has become a good business.
There is a whole corruption component. In the Moscow region, if you have more than 5 children, you can receive up to 50,000 rubles a month for one child from the regional budget. For children adopted from the temporarily occupied territories of Ukraine, they pay more in the Russian Federation. In total, the figures are 15–20,000 rubles more per month to stimulate this process. Pavlo Lysyansky, director of the Institute for Strategic Studies and Security, on the air of Hromadske Radio.
It is still impossible to determine the exact number of Ukrainian children whom Russia illegally deported from the occupied territories, but dozens of state public organizations are working to locate and return to Ukraine all illegally taken children. Reported by Roman Smoler, Natalia Husak, UATV News.